It's time to get all set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics with your hosts, Scott Williams and Jeff Traylor.
When I hear the coffee brewing, I think, what the heck we doing? Because I got barely any sleep last night. As the diaper bag I pack with Hot Wheels dollies and some snacks, I say a prayer there'll be a seat in the crime room this time. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.
Welcome to All Set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics to be a little more prepared for Sunday Mass. My name is Scott Williams. My co-host is Jeff Traylor. Aloha, Jeff.
Aloha, Scott.
Nice shirt.
I had a flower shirt on yesterday as well, and I got on a video call, and Josh, who works here, and I were shockingly both wearing flower shirts, and they said, "Is it just flower shirt day for you guys?" I was like,
"It's an hour."
Bees on it though.
When you're,
it does have bees.
New
New guest alert.
New guest alert. Bow, 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 bow.
Father Aaron Jenkins, how are you today? Lovely. He told me this morning, or not this morning, but before we started recording, that I knew that he was.
You guys hung out this morning?
Yeah,
come on.
Weird.
Yeah.
Not only is I knew that he was a hunter and a fisherman, and a gamer as well, right? Mm-hmm. What I didn't know was that he was a beekeeper.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, for generations and generations.
Of bees, or you, or of people?
My family has been, yes.
Yes.
4th generation beekeepers.
Does that mean like you've had the same bees, or did you go to the bee store and get
No,
new
I was
bees?
thinking about this the other day.
It's like a sourdough starter.
Yeah,
pretty much. I don't have any lineage yet, I think, left over from my grandfather's bees. I still have his stuff.
Is that a thing though? I just made that up.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, you could definitely trace lineage.
Oh, do you like?
So yeah,
like 21 and me, but for bees.
You probably could.
23 and me, I think.
Whatever. I don't know.
For bees, it's 21.
They did do genetic
doing
studies
that.
with like insects because they reproduce so often and so fast. So, but yeah, you could definitely trace it all the way back to figure out like
That's crazy.
Who's bees who and all that. So,
really?
Yeah.
That's what. Look at that.
Yeah.
We'll learn about it.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I said to somebody the other day, like, and I mentioned it to Father Aaron when he showed up. I feel like it's not like I know every priest, but like I feel like the list of priests I don't know of the Archdiocese of Indianapolis is smaller than the ones I do. Right? Like, I've just working in ministry and encountered a lot. But Father Aaron has always been this. Is it Father Aaron or Father Jenkins? What do you prefer? All right, has always been this like priest of lore, like because there's always every conversation about you involves something like dressing a deer out behind the rectory at your parish, or
creating the crest for the bishop that's coming in,
or like a reference to architectural work you'd help do. Somebody did. Like, there's all these just like extreme directions of things. So beekeeping fits right in there. It's like one of those things. Like that's fascinating. Also on the side, Catholic priest. So
on the side, convert.
Oh,
I'm a convert. So I became Catholic when I was at Anderson University.
Okay. And didn't you
go
there?
Ravens? I went to Anderson for 2 years.
Did you?
Yeah.
When?
Let's see. I was there in 2000, 2001, and then 01, 02. Really? Yeah. We would have been there at the same time. Crazy.
That's weird.
Huh.
I was in the art, so you never would have come over to the arts. So
no,
I was in the glass studio blowing glass.
I was studying athletic training.
Yeah.
So I was there for 2 years, and then I left through a reversion experience and went to Marion and studied theology.
I became Catholic because of my experience at Anderson, I think. So.
I mean, I would say I was Catholic, but like it pushed me into a discernment period to the priesthood, and then into teaching high school and working as director of campus ministry, like that experience there. So that's wild.
Maybe Anderson's more Catholic than they think they are.
Well, also Josh Jenko,
go Ravens,
Father
right?
Josh Jenko up at in Lafayette. Like we were in school together at the same time. He would have probably graduated before you were there. So
that's what. Yeah, I always tell people like my time at Anderson. I went from growing up and going to Catholic school to I knew like 5 other Catholic kids, and many of them were like hiding from it. Yeah. And I was like, and I just doubled down. Yeah, that was where I first learned about Catholic answers.
Yeah,
and
well, being in the arts, like 90%, 80% of my professors in the arts were Catholic.
Oh,
because they all kind of just had this
it's just ingrained in us.
Yeah.
That's way too generous. Like it's like 50% of them were Catholic, but like just it was a surprising amount of like the professors I gravitated towards at Anderson were all Catholic.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this. It's not often I meet many other people who went to Anderson, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't graduate from there, but I had a great 2 years. I loved it.
Yeah,
I just
enjoyed it.
Felt called in a different path. So
I never
Me too,
go back
apparently.
because they got rid of the arts department, so
Oh.
no reason to go back.
Good.
Anymore, but,
Burn bridges. That's what
That's
I
right.
always say.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Anyway,
You just glossed over that you blew a glass too. So
Yeah.
do you still do that?
Yeah, I have studio time on
added
Sunday.
to the list.
Yeah.
Glass blowing.
Yeah, trying to make a new bowl for our baptismal font. So I just finished up making the lid. Well, someone else made the lid. I painted the scenes on the lid, and then I'm trying to make a new bowl for it because like,
Via
bowl,
glass blowing?
yeah, the bowl that we have
Well, yeah.
currently is just a pressed glass thing that anybody could have in their house. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's probably I am a glass blower. Maybe I could.
Can you
come up
like
with
do that
something.
at your house, or you have to go to a glass blowing?
We gotta save. We gotta dig in
All
the,
right,
at the
sorry.
end of the show
Yeah.
here. Wait, before so you are at St. Michael's in Greenfield.
St. Michael's
Correct.
in Greenfield and St. Thomas in Fort Hill. So
Okay.
all of Hancock County.
Wonderful. The Diocese of Hancock County.
Yes, I call myself the Archpriest of Hancock County, but it has not caught on.
No,
There's other names I'm sure that my parishioners call.
I've heard Father
But
Tim call you other things. So
Yeah, yes, we call each other lots of things.
I'm sure. Oh man. Well, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm already having fun.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, ready for
Should
the
I
2-minute
really-
drill?
Yeah, I was gonna say, should I ruin it by doing my review of the reading?
Yeah, let's
All right.
let's ruin it.
Great. 21st Sunday in Ordinary Time here. So our first reading comes from Isaiah. So God is basically saying, I've got eyes on everybody. I got eyes on all the nations, all tongues. I'm gathering them in, bringing everybody in here. And he says that he's going to send out messengers to distant lands, to Tarshish, to Put, Lud, Tubal, Javan. I don't know. My pronunciations are always fun. To the ends of the earth, at least in Isaiah's eyes, right? To the ends of the world, so that all people can see God's glory. And then even the Gentiles, speaking of converts, Gentiles here, will become priests and Levites. And in other words, he's just saying that God's family reunion, like he's bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
He's going to send everybody out. He's going to bring them all back in. It's way bigger than what Israel was expecting, for sure. Our responsorial psalm this week, go out to all the world and tell the good news. Or
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. We get a random hallelujah.
Why
in
is
here.
that?
I don't know.
All right,
We should ask our priest.
we will.
But this is also a crazy short. There's only 2 verses to this
So not a member.
responsorial psalm. Yeah. Well, I don't know. The response might be, it's a little long, but the fact that there's only 2 verses, I
I
find it
noticed that too.
interesting.
So I was
But
like, wow, that's really short.
yeah.
Father, we have 3 categories of responsorial psalms. They're either bangers, which is like remember back to your grade school days, and there's like a cantor that just really dug in.
Yeah, you can just close your
And
eyes and
crushed
really
it.
imagine one
I
specific.
can't think of that because remember, I'm a convert.
Oh, that's right.
Well, but as a priest, though, like there are certain psalms that you look at and you can imagine a specific cantor just really getting after it at
No,
mass.
I never. That's a different church. It was like the 80s and 90s, and I never experienced that church.
All right.
I think of people still today.
Yeah.
But
I'm a pastor, I guess, so I don't know.
yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah, I guess you have a limited scope of what you see.
Yeah.
But then there's mumblers, which are just too long to remember what
Mm.
the
So that everybody in the church is just like,
Yeah.
go out to all the world and tell the yeah.
and then there's meh, which is like it's not a
Great
banger,
message, but
Mhm.
but yeah.
Mhm.
anyway, I would put this one border like right between mumbler and meh.
Okay,
It's a membler.
I accept that.
Our second reading then comes from Hebrews, letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12. So in here, as Paul is talking to Paul is talking to the Hebrews, that God's discipline isn't punishment; it's training. Right? He's helping us. He's helping guide us. That if it feels like spiritual push-ups, it's because God's making us stronger. He's not trying to crush us down. He wants to strengthen us. He's trying to help us grow. And that discipline might not be fun in the moment, but it pays off. It pays off with the peaceful fruit of righteousness. So
It's the athletic trainer coming back.
yeah, that's right. So stand tall, Stand up strong, steady those weak knees, straighten your path, walk straight, because holiness is a marathon, not a sprint. See my theme there?
I like it. Yeah.
And then we have our gospel reading. So our gospel comes from Luke chapter 13. Jesus passed through towns and villages, teaching as he went and making his way to Jerusalem. Someone asked him, "Lord, will only a few people be saved?" He answered them, "Strive to enter through the narrow gate, for many, I tell you, will attempt to enter, but will not be strong enough. After the master of the house has arisen and locked the door, then you will stand outside knocking and saying, 'Lord, open the door for us.' He will say to you in reply, 'I do not know where you are from.' And you will say, 'We ate and drank in your company, and you taught in our streets.' Then he will say to you, 'I do not know where you are from. Depart from me, all you evildoers.' And there will be wailing and grinding of teeth when you see Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourselves cast out. And people will come from the east and the west, from the north and the south, and will recline at the table in the kingdom of God. For behold, some are last who will be first, and some are first who will be last."
All right. Good work, Jeff. Father Jenkins, did Jeff get anything wrong? Anything, any heresy that might have been mentioned? Mispronunciations? Was it 2 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Without our
Nailed it.
interjections.
At least 2 minutes.
Without his see, I often get drugged down by the interjections.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, what are you preaching on this weekend?
No idea.
Great.
I have some ideas, but no, I don't know yet. I've obviously read through them, looked at it.
What are some of the things jumping out?
Well, so some of the things I was looking at it, and I realized that Luke is hard. Like, I don't know if it has ever struck me as much as it has this year. That the Luke readings in C, like it's like 3 months of challenging gospel passages. Like, we've been in it for about a month that have been pretty punchy, and this last weekend was definitely one of those punchy ones. And I don't think I ever kind of realized how punchy Luke is. And I think the other thing is he's punchy at us. He's punchy. He's writing for Gentiles, obviously. He's writing for people who are, most likely didn't grow up Jewish, coming into the faith. Matthew was writing for Jewish people. Luke, though, is writing more for Gentiles. And so there's always this idea in Luke's gospel of the outsider kind of being the one. Hopefully you've heard that in 5 years of giving podcasts. So I think he's really punchy towards us because we're the insiders now in the faith. And so, I think this weekend is no different. You show up to church. Oh, we know your name. We said your name when we prayed at, before meals, or, we said nice things about you. We went to First Communion, whatever. And the Lord says, "Well, I do not know you." So that's pretty devastating, right? Like, it's like, oh, okay. Is this me? So I think that's kind of where I'm at the moment, is just like, what does this mean for all of us who are Christians who kind of think we're okay? And Jesus is challenging us to saying, no, there's a lot more here that we need to do. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in this one. But I read ahead and I looked, was like, well, how long does this go on? Because like I have to preach like these kind of on these punchy gospels for a while. And I was just like, it's like another 2 months of like punchy readings from Luke.
So when you say punchy, you mean like the language he's using, the tone he's taking.
Not quite in your face.
Yeah. But it's very direct.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
Very challenging. Poke and prod you, make you feel uncomfortable. It was probably more comforting to the Gentiles who are reading it, because they were kind of like, well, yeah, he's he's talking to me, right? Jesus is talking to me. I'm the outsider. Even in the Christian community, I feel like an outsider. And so I think Luke actually hits us differently than it probably did that first, those first people who are reading it, which is fine. I think,
Yeah.
God is using that in his providence to poke and prod us now. So,
No, I mean, you say that, but I feel like our last couple of weeks of podcasts, we've like kind of talked about this without realizing we were, about like how I've for sure felt the gospel reading start to like dig in a little bit more and really call us to task on some things, or just like totally missing, like I often do, just totally missing the point and then being reminded by one of our guests of what it is. But,
I mean, I think what you guys were saying earlier about like a conversion or a reversion to your faith, or going all in and like discerning the priesthood, is like, I think at a certain point in our spiritual life, we say, well, okay, are we going to be all in? Or are we not going to be all in? And like Luke is challenging here, is he poking and prodding? And, eventually we're going to either say, yep, time to be a Christian. I realize it's going to be hard, but I'm going to put all my eggs in that basket.
yeah, I think what he's also saying is like, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Like
right. Yeah.
you're all in or you're not.
Right.
Like, and to your point, like we come into church and it's a Sunday and we're like, great, we showed up, we're here. Like we're the one. And like, this is a good reminder of like, it's not just that. That's just step one, right?
Yeah,
showing up,
sure.
knowing him, saying his name. That's step one.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's kind of like Facebook friends, right? It's just like, I mean, if your only connection to a person is on Facebook, then you guys really aren't friends. Like, let's be honest. Like, they're not going to show up and help you when you got a tire blown on the side of the road,
Yeah.
So it's, Jesus is asking us to be much more than that. He's asking us to like really truly be his friends, his loved one. Like, is he important or not? So I think that's a challenge. In a month, we will get to, I think it's in a month, we will get to the prodigal son. So it's,
Speaking of punchy.
yeah.
Great. Lightens up.
Yeah. So, but I don't know, kind of in that same context, like it's interesting because, we always read the Beatitudes from Matthew, and those are the ones that we like because they're a little bit more comforting. But if you read the Beatitudes in Luke, they are not comforting.
Yeah.
They have 4 Beatitudes and then they have 4 woes. But woe to you, and it's just like, so I just, kind of pondering and thinking about it a little bit more this year. Like, I don't know why it stuck out to me more this year than, I guess this is probably the 3rd or 4th time I've been through the year C readings as a priest. I don't know why it stuck out to me more this year, but it really has.
Yeah.
So
What I was going to ask is like, Luke is obviously similar to other gospels, so the stories aren't necessarily going to be wildly different. But do you get the sense that Luke's just delivery of those teachings are more in your face?
It certainly comes across that. Whether or not that's true in the original language, I don't know.
Right.
Because I'm not smart enough I can barely speak English. So
You're doing all right.
Yeah. But who's your English?
Yeah.
It's not real English. It's not the
English.
Queen's. Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. I mean, I would assume so. I mean, that's the reality of preaching, right? Is like, I can have all of this stuff in the back of my head about knowing that he's preaching to Gentiles. He's, coming from this space. But like, what are people going to hear when we read this on Sunday? Because that's what you have to kind of deal with. I can go into like the Bishop Barron and like give a whole expose on like, all that stuff. And I love it.
Read the commentary. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I love it. But it's just like, well, I got to preach in 5 minutes here. Like, there's a kid screaming over here who's, over top of, an important part of this homily that they need to hear, but nobody's going to hear it because someone's screaming. So, you have to kind of think about it from that standpoint too. What are people really hearing on Sunday? Yeah.
Like I'm sure that's like the great challenge of preaching is if everyone in here walks away with like one thing, what is it I want them to hear?
Well, to be honest, I don't even think that's a realistic expectation. I For me, I'm most pleased with homilies that appear in confession 2 or 3 weeks later. Someone says it, or someone genuinely sends an email and says, "Oh, thank you for this," or whatever, But for the most part, it's like, just a solid base hit is really what I'm after.
So you win games.
Yeah, exactly. Moneyball.
On base percentage. That's right.
That's right. So Dr. Stern said that in our homiletics class down at Minard, and I thought that was pretty wise. Just aim for a solid base hit.
Sometimes you make real good contact and you don't even realize it.
Yeah,
I'm sure those are those ones.
By mistake, you will hit a home run every once in a while. Or by God's grace, perhaps. But yeah, so I think that's kind of the way to go. And then, I mean, look, the reality is as a former teacher, it's hard to lose your teaching eyes. And so, like, when I look out at the crowd, like, I know who's paying attention and who's not.
Yeah.
Like, I can see, like, 2 minutes into a 4-minute homily, like, the amount of people that are already spacing out. So it's like, not everybody's going to walk away with something because not everybody's present or,
Yeah, but like that right there is kind of the message of this gospel, right? Yeah. It's like, who's here and who's really in, and like
drives you nuts to preach a homily and read a gospel, and then you still see people at the end of church walk out early so they don't have to deal with the crowd and can beat everybody to Cracker Barrel. I mean, it's just it's kind of like I think this was for you today, but but it's obviously for me as well. So,
you should say that phrase in your homily this week and see if anyone walks out. Really.
I have entirely too sarcastic humor to not preach from a text. It would not be good to just allow my mind to preach what is on my heart.
That's how you get a meeting. That's how you get a meeting with the Archbishop.
Maybe early retirement. Who knows? Still get a paycheck, but don't have to do that.
Are you? So you preach from the text?
I do.
So you're an at the ambo, like behind. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's always interesting to just learn the different styles, like
which is very interesting because I'm dyslexic. I hate writing. But now having done it for 18 years, like I love sitting down on Friday morning and writing the homily. I love that.
How long does it take you?
Hour.
Yeah.
Hour, maybe. It depends. Some weeks are easier than others.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get distracted in the middle of it and deal with other things. And then Saturday I sit down and practice the homily, go through it, revise. But usually one of the disciplines that I had was always I never add to a homily once I've written it.
That's good.
It's only takeaway.
That makes sense.
So
do you read the readings earlier in the week and like kind of spend the week kind of praying with those?
Yeah.
And like
So it's typically Sunday or Monday, Tuesday morning at the latest, I'm looking at the readings for Sunday. And then it's just, I mean, in God's providence, like there's always stuff that happens as a pastor if you're paying attention that's going to inform.
Yeah. I would imagine maybe there was a time you were writing homilies on a Tuesday and realizing I got a whole lot of week to process here.
I never wrote it early. Because I hate writing, so I procrastinated.
Got it. There it is.
But yeah, I know I might have done that like once or twice early, but then I realized it's like, well, I have a whole week to live here and experiences that God's going to give me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are even times you write it on a Friday and by Saturday evening, something has happened or something, like, I don't know. Maybe not.
Sometimes, there's disasters that happen or, tragedies that happen and you're kind of like, oh, I don't, know how to deal with this. But like at the same time, it's like, I can deal with it next week. Everybody will process it then and won't be so raw and, so yeah, never had too much of an issue there.
All right. Ready for some dumb questions?
Yeah. I'm fascinated. I just want to keep asking questions.
Yeah.
This is great. Okay. So far we've covered beekeeping, glass blowing.
Yep.
I know you're a gamer. You were talking about
wargamer.
War game?
Yeah.
What is it?
What's that mean?
So
I'll explain to Scott. I obviously know, but if you want to tell him.
So wargaming is specifically usually about battles of some kind.
Okay.
I have a YouTube channel called Project Wargaming. I started it during COVID, during one of my, twiddling my thumbs, kind of trying to figure out what to do. So it's got a lot of this stuff on there. Got into 3D printing then, but it's basically Army Men with rules. That's the best way I can explain it. So it's uber nerdy.
So like computer game or like card game?
Board game.
No,
Board
it's a tabletop game.
He's
but it's
3D
not-
printing little army men.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then you paint
Tabletop.
those. So, 40-year-old virgin, I will paint your pants blue. Like that's the stuff. So hopefully that's not too scandalous for this.
Nah.
podcast, but that's
I've
what
said worse.
that's what all the family makes fun of me for. So, the funniest thing that's ever occurred to me, and so my sister, of course, she makes fun of me. She's even more sarcastic, I think, than I am. And so they came out to DC to move me back. And so I told my mom and dad, or mom and sister, hey, come to the gaming store. I'm playing with friends. It's the last time, but then we can go out to eat afterwards. So, two attractive women walk into a gaming store, right? So basically the whole place just comes to a stop. Everybody stares at them, walk over to my table and a good friend's table. And my sister's just like, I always wondered where all the Unabombers hung out. So it was a classic kind of Jenkins line. So yeah, it was fun. So Gen Con has some of that gaming there, but that's more like board gaming, more RPG, role-playing games. I've done some of that, but
this is like you're developing.
Yeah, or you buy rules.
Okay.
A rule system.
Okay.
And then you're playing games. And it spans like entire history from like sci-fi to fantasy to like, oh no, I'm playing the fall of the Roman Empire at this point, at this moment in history. Specific battles, you're refighting Champions Hill down in, wherever it is.
all right. Nope, I don't.
No,
but
Yeah. Oh, Alabama.
I'm fascinated.
Alabama. By Dixon. It's like, where is it? I've been there. But yeah, so you're fighting that with troops and trying to figure it out. So I like it because it gives you a history lesson of kind of like what's going on,
Mhm.
but then it also helps you to understand like what are these people doing to make this happen. So I try to, when I take the kids out, the 8th graders out for the DC trip, I always try to go to a battlefield, and I've tried in the past to try to run a game of that battlefield. So like a couple of years ago, we did one for Antietam, and so it was really cool. Because
But then you learn the history of
kids,
Antietam.
I know
They do it with you.
They do it with me.
Got
the
it.
kids are learning, and so like it was really fun watching some of the kids show up with their parents, and they were like, oh, that's Dunker's church, like that's where the Union focused their attack and kind of all that stuff. So it just a cool way to kind of learn battles and history and kind of what's the command decisions, what were the constraints of these generals and stuff there. So
You ever do crusades?
I do, yeah.
Sweet.
I've done some. So
So there, it seems to be that there's like kind of a theme here of like you also like working like the art you talked about, like your background in art, like you like working with your hands and creating and like a lot of this, that's what that is, right?
I love
You
projects.
Okay.
So
What are some projects you have? Are you a project finisher or are you a project starter?
That's a tough one. So yeah, I force myself to be a project finisher.
Okay. That's good because I know a lot of people who are big into projects and they're really good at 75% of a project.
I really work hard at finishing out a project. It's gotten to the point where it just bugs me if I don't finish it. So do that. I really like fly tying. So, I'm kind of doing fly tying all the time. Big art.
Fly
can
fishing.
you? Fly
Fly
fishing.
fishing.
Got it.
Like the flies or the the bait.
Some
Got it.
stuff that you use entice.
I've always wanted to learn how to fly fish. I think that'd be so cool.
I actually got into fly fishing because I fly tied first, because my grandpa tied flies and tied his lures, and I wanted to do that.
But if you
as a
get
kid.
like really good at that, you can like sell them and stuff, and like people,
but
I know.
who's got the time for that? So
people who fly tie.
yeah,
I think.
people who aren't priests with 2 parishes.
Yeah.
So
in the most hobbies of any human I've ever heard in my life.
that's true. I just finished September. I finished up a tiki bar.
You built a tiki bar?
Yeah. and it's
It's just the most
At the
wide
rectory?
range.
at the rectory.
You gonna auction it off and like the parish? No.
It's I'm sure eventually I'll get rid of it, but
On-site recording next episode.
Yeah,
at
that's
the
fine.
The tiki
yeah.
bar.
happy to. It's yeah, I've kind of gotten to the point in my life where it's just like I will do projects and I'm like, that's okay. The tiki bar is not okay. It's great.
Really?
It's like,
That's awesome.
This is pretty sweet. Like I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and it's fun, and it was very enjoyable.
So like you enjoy, like you then like are enjoying it, and like or are you a big like you do a project and like you see it to completion, you're like, great, it's done, and then
well, no, I mean like the tiki bar. You know, I have a young adult tiki night at the parish here. This will be the second one. Anytime people come over for the house,
nice.
like I'll do that. Teacher end of the year party.
Fun.
You know, so it's enjoyable. So I try to share that stuff. The miniature gaming stuff, wargaming, I will oftentimes kind of get into something and then I'm done with it, and it's just like, okay, I'm going to sell this off because I need more.
So you
room.
like build a whole set,
yeah,
and then move on because you want to start a new game or a new.
And then I got to sell it because I only have so much space.
Yeah.
So
unless you pick up a second rectory, and then
I do have a second rectory.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
Is it
use
now a gaming lounge?
No, it's not. So, but I've built boats in the past.
You built boats?
Yeah, I love building boats. If I could build a boat every year, it would be fun.
Like
what kind of boat?
Like what? Like
Wooden
Chris
boat?
Craft? Like a
Wood
rowboat?
It's like stitching glue is what it's called. So basically, you're taking plywood and stitching it together with either zip ties or wire, and then you epoxy all that together with.
Yeah, but like what? How would you describe the boat when it's finished? Like a John boat or a rowboat?
I made a small John boat.
Okay.
And then the other boat that I made was like there's like a boat down in Louisiana called a Piro.
Yeah.
It was elongated.
Yeah.
With a little bit of rock to it, so it's like the bottom is slightly curved. So it was really good for rivers around here. And
okay.
It was long and narrow.
Oh, nice.
But it was super stable because it was flat bottomed. So it was really lovely to do that, but it was so heavy that it was just very cumbersome to get on our rivers and get them off the rivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't.
So you sell them?
I actually cut that up, and now it's a bookshelf, 2 bookshelves in my house.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't want to throw it away.
Well, yeah. Because now you at least can point to the bookshelf.
Exactly.
Like, I made that.
Yeah, people will walk
the bookshelf.
like,
well, yes, but also the boat.
It used to float.
Yeah.
So I have on the bookshelf. I have like pictures of like me making the boat and my best day fishing on the boat, and now it's a bookshelf.
You're fascinated. This is even better than I imagined.
Yeah. What else you got?
Yeah. I mean, I want to just keep asking. The first time I ever heard your name come up, it was in discussions of like I in no way, shape, or form am any sort of expert, but I believe like I'm a person who is like obsessive about like church architecture and like the reasoning behind it, and people, and every time I bring it up and talk to priests about it, they're like, oh, you should talk to Father Aaron Jenkins about that. Which either means they just want me to shut up and they also are tired of hearing you talk about it. Maybe they think that the two of us, but where does that background come from? Is that just the artist in you, or?
Yeah. So, background's in art. I was an art teacher for 2 years before I came back and studied for the priesthood.
In DC? That's what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, my first day teaching was 9/11.
Oh, really?
So it's kind of a fascinating one.
So
I was 5 miles from the Pentagon on that one. So that was interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, just that background and appreciation for kind of like what churches are, what we're trying to do with our church buildings, how heart is there. That was the real struggle for me as a Protestant, being really into art. Like there just wasn't a great outlet for it. Some of the older churches were very pretty and stuff, but still didn't quite do it for me. And then of course, with the way that Protestant churches are going more towards the non-denom stuff, theater sort of settings, like it really doesn't do anything for me at all.
Yeah, you're more of an art guy, less sparklers and fog machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your favorite church that you've walked into in the Archdiocese?
In the Archdiocese?
Great question, Scott.
Thank you.
You can do like a top 3 if you feel it, if you're struggling.
I mean, Meinrad would have to be like It
Oh,
would
that's cool.
probably
Yeah.
be my top. Although you can make the argument that it's not one of our churches because it's
Yeah, I was gonna say we just
It's
like carved out a
monster.
little spot. So
It's
that
a
we can have
church
them
in
there.
our diocese.
well, Ritter did that. We did.
Yeah.
So that's good. St. John's is obviously beautiful. Sacred Heart is very, very beautiful. So, but Millhausen is kind of a really cool building. Had some unfortunate renovations, but like I redid the windows in those in Millhausen.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I worked with a guy.
Was it? Were you assigned as pastor at the time?
No,
or-
I
oh.
was. This was when I was
Okay.
in college as a glassblower, and I wanted to learn that kind of side of it.
Oh, wow.
So I did a summer internship. So we redid Millhausen, and we redid St. Mary's, my home parish, I guess you could call it, since I grew up in Rushville.
Greensboro.
Hmm.
Oh, in Rushville.
In Rushville.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So did that. I like kind of those smaller country churches. I think that
Yeah.
they're very pretty, and that. And what's interesting about those is some of those are just Sears and Roebuck's churches. Like you literally bought the church from a catalog. And they
Really?
shipped
Like
all
I've
the
seen this-
materials to you.
That's why I've seen Sears and Roebuck houses,
Yeah.
but I never knew that churches
Yeah,
was
there
a thing.
Yeah, there was some of that.
Wow.
I think Rushville's was that. I think I found the ad for it when I did some stuff for it. Yeah,
For real.
it was wild. Like they would just ship everything, and then you just get a local contractor to just put
Just
it
follow
up.
the directions.
Yeah. So
That's fascinating.
Mhm.
Also a hunter,
Yep.
correct?
yeah,
Is it true that you have dressed a deer out in front of the church before?
no, not out
No.
in front.
Okay.
So I'm pretty.
That was another story I heard from somebody was like
So I've
seeing Father Jenkins dressing a deer at
yeah, I've dressed him at the church. Certainly when I was down in Bright, down
Yeah.
in St. Teresa.
Oh, well, yeah.
I actually shot a deer in the backyard at Bright.
Yeah.
And I'm like 95% sure that Pope Francis heard a story about me shooting this deer in the back of that. Because I came home after Mass. I was still in my blacks. And so I saw these two doe in the backyard, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of hungry, and like I need to get one. And I haven't gotten one yet this year, and they're like rats down here, so we need to clear out some of the population. So I snuck around the front of the house, snuck around to the side, drew back, shot the doe, and then
Bow and arrow or?
yeah,
Okay.
bow and arrow, and then didn't feel super positive about the shot, so I let her lay for a little bit, but it turned out to be a great shot. She passed.
Pat on the back.
Yeah. Yeah. And then later that night I had parishioners over, and I'd let her lay because I didn't want to bump her if she was wounded. So these parishioners, all the ladies are inside enjoying, and I told like the guys, I was like, hey, I shot a deer earlier. Like I need to go out in the woods and see if I can find it. And they're like, oh yeah, let's go. So
I mean, because down in Bright,
right.
those
yeah.
guys are all like, absolutely.
Well, one of the guys was
let's hang and
actually
dress it. Yeah.
the guy whose property
Okay.
Bright was. And
Yeah.
he told me once, he's like, oh, where your presider's chair is, Father, like that's where I used to hang my deer. So it's like, it's probably be better
Because
if
it
we
was
can maybe-
a barn, right?
Yeah, it was a barn that got turned into a church.
That's wild.
So anyways, I did all this right, and so I was telling Tobin this, Archbishop Tobin, Cardinal Tobin now, and I'm sure Tobin was just like, I can't believe this hick place that I'm living in has like this kind of.
It's like I was in the
priest
Curia.
here.
I was just living in
And
a Vatican
like,
apartment.
I'm pretty sure that like Pope Francis was like, hey, like what's it like? And he was just like, oh, let me, So I'm like 95% sure that story got told to Francis at some point.
That's
Because
fantastic.
Tobin loved to tell that story in certain circles. So
All right.
Yeah.
I could keep going all day long, but I
Yeah.
think.
Do you want to do your music question?
Oh yeah, we have sometimes I end up with these like running theme
okay.
questions that we're asking many priests in a row. So I'm gonna get your opinion. In the world of instruments
Mhm.
played at Mass,
Mhm.
like musical instruments, not liturgical instruments.
Yes.
I said liturgical instruments the other day and I was corrected. But musical instruments played at Mass. I'm gonna give you a list. I'd like you to give me your top 3
Okay.
and your bottom 2. from that list. Here, you can look at the list here if you want. And then I don't even have to read it out every time. But for our listeners, pipe organ, piano, ignore the descriptions. That was just, pipe organ, piano, guitar, violin, flute, trumpet, harp, ukulele, tambourine, drum set.
My top is just voice.
Well, it's not.
I know it's not on there.
Yeah.
But my top would be voice. So like if it was up to me, we would just use voice.
Chant.
Yeah. That's all we would use.
Great. It's not up to you. This is the list.
But since it's up to you, pipe organ, violin, flute, harp would be up there as well. Probably.
So you got to give 3.
Pipe organ, violin, and flute.
Got
would
it.
Be my top.
Pipe. This is the first time flute's making the list.
Yes.
Great. How about your bottom 2?
Drum.
Drum set.
Yeah. Tambourine. And
Bottom 2, just 2.
oh, bottom.
Tambourine, ukulele.
Yeah.
Tambourine.
Tambourine and
Great. So do you guys only chant at your
No.
parishes?
no, because we don't do what I like to do.
You do what the people like to do.
No, we don't do what the people like to do. We do what the church asks us to do.
That's
the
look
that's
at you.
the key.
That was good. That was a good catch.
So,
Yeah.
So when people complain about musical stuff and they're like, well, you're just playing what you like to play. I'm like, we are not. We are not. Because if it was up to me, this place would sound like a Russian Orthodox church. So,
All right. Well, this
Cold
has
winds
been
blowing
it's been a joy. Thank you for coming and,
Yeah,
and
this
being
is
on
awesome.
the podcast.
thank you.
Hopefully you'll come back.
Maybe.
We've got way more
You
questions
just
to
have
ask.
to invite me back.
Okay.
You'll be
It
invited.
took you 5 years, maybe, in the next 5 years.
Yeah, you had to reach out first, which, sorry. But now,
That's probably why you don't have new guests on.
but that does happen.
That's true. That's true.
But unfortunately, now you're hooked. Now you're in.
Yep.
And so we will relentlessly pursue you every couple months for another recording. So
it was fun.
yeah,
Maybe
and
by
we'll
then
do
I'll
it
have
at
my podcast up and going.
There we go.
perfect, and we'll do it
Do
at
an
the Tiki
advertisement.
Bar.
Yes, we can certainly do it at the Tiki Bar.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us the name of your podcast that you're going to have.
I don't want to yet.
Okay,
'cause
never
it's
mind.
not official. Nothing's out yet, but
Just beep it out.
But yeah,
All right. I saw a video of an ambulance that the siren was failing, but they had the PA system, and the guy was just going wee wee. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.